Hello there and welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. We are in March, so spring, welcoming spring. You can hear obviously the birds are chirping. I don't know how they get it done every year, same time, but they're just amazing. Pea-sized brain can do amazing things to survive. Let's talk about the market a little bit. This is specific for Santa Fe Hills, so I'm going to keep it very specific. My newsletter before kind of incorporated multiple things and because I also service Discovery area. So I kind of tried to put the newsletter together, but it looks like a lot of people did not like that. They like very specific kind of information. So just for those who don't know who I am, my name is Orzhel. I'm a broker owner of Realty Max. We operate here, obviously in San Marcos, but we do work all over the place. My business is to help sellers get as much money as possible, and that's been my goal for the last 23 years I've been doing this, but we really kind of got everything dialed in the last, I'll say, 7 to 8 years, where we can get sellers considerably more than they can get any other way, because we use triggers that are very important to human beings. Because as you know, everybody wants what they can't have. Everybody wants what everybody else wants. It's just the way we work. There's that proof of a concept, proof of credibility, etc. So human beings seem to act in a certain way as far as their buying behavior goes. So we use that. And like I said, if you are holding my newsletter, on top of it, you'll see the guarantee we offer. And also there's an n72.com QR code. You're more than welcome to either go to the website and learn more about it. We have some testimonials and incredible results we've been presenting for people who use us. Okay, so let's talk about this market really quickly. How is the market, right? And the truth is, the market is the market. It doesn't matter what the market does. Really more important what your agent does to make you stand out from the crowd, because obviously the market shifts all the time. Sometimes we have more listings, sometimes we have less listings. But overall, like I said, we cannot control supply. We can only control demand. And a good listing agent knows how to control demand and how to bring attention onto you out of all those other properties, right? How to make the buyers feel like they're going to miss out on your property versus something else. Because if you follow me before, you already know that you really only have about 10 days or so, probably even less, before your property starts to lose value. And I mean that in the most nicest way possible. Perception leads to reality. And when people see your home stays in the market longer, given all our technology nowadays, meaning, you can go on Zillow, you can go to Redfin, all those other portals, you can see exactly how long the home's been in the market. You can see if there was any price adjustments or not. So all this information is given. Number one question for most buyers is how long the home has been in the market. And the reason for that is really simple. Nobody wants to make a mistake. When you're paying $8, $9, $1 million, $2 million for a house, nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody wants to hold the bag. We use social validation, social proof. For example, how many other people want it? How many people are fighting for it in order to estimate the value of something? When something's been in the market for, a week or so and nothing's happening, you're going to be chasing the market down. And I'll show you some examples of that as we go into the video, where you can actually see what I'm talking about. So again, N72, our process, and just a shameless plug. Like I said, it's a hands-on situation. We pre-market the property to make sure we understand how many people want it at whatever value you put it on, and we're able to make adjustments before the home goes on the market, before there's a day one on the market, because we want to get all this lined up and really dialed in before you hit the market. After you hit the market, the counter starts and day starts going up and up and up. I see a lot of people have their home on the market for weeks and months, and then it gets recycled again, obviously at a lower price. And even recycling the listing, it can work. It does work sometimes, but ultimately, all the information is available. You can go to Zillow, you can see how long it's been in the market, how many times it's been put back on, and what has been the history of any listing. So all I can tell you is really be careful, because a lot of times sellers focus on the same wrong thing. A lot of times sellers, understandably, obviously commissions are important or they're expensive. They want to get something done for less. And, they focus on saving maybe $5,000 or $10,000, which I'm not saying it's a lot of money. However, if you save 10 and then you lose 30, 40 on the end, that's not a benefit, right? You've lost. You have a lot of money at stake on the table, and you can either give it to the market or you can give it to yourself. So it's just the way you kind of want to look at situation. So as always, we start from interest rates because interest rates are the drivers for the market. So let me see if I can share that with you. So we have it up here. So as you can see right here, let me see if I can bring my face up here somewhere. Oh, too much, right? Okay, so just really quickly, as you can see here, rates have been coming down. You can see this thing coming down quite a bit. We're definitely under fives. We just worked on a loan recently, basically 5.5%. Now, a lot of people are going for an ARM right now, adjustable rate mortgage. For example, this particular situation, we were able to get a 7-year fixed, right? And then adjust every 6 months. The reason we're doing this is because we can get a considerably lower rate, and 7 years is long enough of a time frame to maybe catch a lower rate, be able to refinance. A lot of people want the 30-year fix, and I totally get it, but the rates are relatively somewhat high, not compared to a couple of years ago, but they're still high. And if you can get a 7-year fixed and not have to worry about what's going to happen the next 7 years and just kind of watch the market, and when you have a opportunity of a lower rate, just refinance it, because really the first 5-7 years of the loan, if not more, you're going to be paying pretty much interest only, right? All mortgage loans are what we call front loaded, so you're paying interest up front, and then you start working on the principal. Like I said, if you have a mortgage that you're looking to refinance, need money out, whatever the situation is, feel free to connect with me. I do originate. We have many sources to make sure you get one of the best rates possible. Okay, so put that to the side. Let's go back to the rates. So as you can see, rates have been dipping. They're definitely under 6%, and we can probably get you somewhere in the, if you want to have a fixed, probably 5.7. In many cases, if you want to buy it down, we can get you down closer to low fives. But I always recommend people, because the cost is less, is do a 7/6 ARM, where, like I said, you are fixed for 7 years and then you have an adjustment every 6 months. I think it's enough time for you to see what happens and refinance if you need to. So next thing I want to talk about, I guess we can just look at the market. Let's look at what's happening here. So this is basically Santa Fe Hills in a glance. Now this includes all the smaller markets as well as we've added. We're looking at Skylark, Foothills, Ridgeview, right? All the new developments, and we kind of touch Rancho, Santalina. Rancho Santalina is really not Santa Fe Hills, but it's pretty much the last development in San Marcos, because if you go past that west, you're in Vistas. So they're kind of by themselves. They're somewhat unique. It's a very kind of a tighter area, so homes are closer together. But there are some homes, and they are selling, in 1.2, 1.3 range if things done correctly. So we're going to touch on that so you can kind of take a look and see what's going on. All right, so what I want to look at. So right now, looking at all those areas, we have about 12 listings. And you can see Codorniz, Casita Barquero, Pagalso, Loma Alta. All those are in Santa Fe Hills, or the older Santa Fe Hills area. Everything else, Limburg and Hydra. Limburg is Skylark. Hydra is the only one actually in Santalina, Rancho Santalina. Everything else is on top, right? Either in Skylark or Foothills. So let's look at each one individually. And I want you to really pay attention to market time, because market time makes all the difference in the world. Before we jump here, what I want you to see is 26, 26, 26. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 closed transactions for 2026. We're in March, that's 2 months, right? So we have about 2 sales every month. Not really a lot of activity, but things are selling. As you can see, we've had a lot of listings sitting for a long time. Limburg, 102 days, right? Price went from 1.6 to 1.6. Nobody's moving, and obviously the seller is not moving either. I don't understand people. What's the point? I think the market has spoken pretty much in a week or two. If you're putting this price and nobody's biting, there's an issue, okay? So either the agent is doing something wrong or can't give you the news because they're afraid they're going to lose the listing, which is really probably shouldn't be there in the first place, or something else is going on. There's one on Loma Alta, 1548, that's been on for about 50 days, I believe, 55 days. Again, I don't know what's going on here. You're chipping away. $999 was the original price. $900. They dropped it really what? $889, $10,000. Is it really going to make an impact? For me, I think if you're buying a home for $900,000 or $1 million, $10,000 is no reason for you not to make an offer. So if somebody's not making an offer, $10,000 is really not significant enough to really make an impact, right? Something went wrong here originally. It's probably the condition of the property. I'm assuming that's what it is. Pictures are nice, but let's go inside. Okay, you can see this areas here, right? Looks like they build out a little room here in the front. It's a 3 bedroom. Do you feel it's staged for selling? I don't think it's really staged for that. And really, when someone puts a home out like this, I don't think they're doing a favor to the seller. Hope you understand that, right? Corda Bagalsa, 44 days in the market, 1,275,000, same price. Okay, well, something can break, I guess. Limburg, 18 days in the market, 4 bedroom, 5 bath, 3,200 square feet, 1,674,000. Looks like they're holding still here. Hydra, that's in Santalina. 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,270,000 on the market for 14 days. Limburg, that's Skylark, 4 bedroom, 5 bath, 1.6, right? So we have two here. One is larger, one is smaller. It's 13 days in the market. And it's funny, one of those transactions, the seller called me twice, but he didn't leave a message. And as just you, and I'm going to tell you this since you're watching this, I get a lot of telemarketing calls from India, everywhere else. I mean, I try to pick up the phone as much as I can, but if I'm doing something, I figure like if it's important enough, someone will leave a message. This person apparently called me twice, didn't leave a message. I ended up calling him back because I was just looking at the logs. He said, oh, I just listed with somebody else. I said, well, why would you do that, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll see what happens here. It's your house. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. See, 710 Casita Lane, Loma Alta development. They had it on the market before for $2,250,000. Looks like they're $1,199,000. 42 days in the market. Something's wrong. I'm going to tell you again, the longer your home stays in the market, the less is its perceived value. You just can't change that. This is human nature. As I told you before, right? Look, Nordstrom's rack. Nordstrom's, people come there, they want to get the best thing, new stuff. They want to be in front of whatever, impress people, whatever the situation is. Nordstrom's rack. Something stays on the shelf too long. It needs to be moved. What happens when it needs to be moved? Price is reduced. But what I'm trying to tell you is Nordstrom's attract people who want to pay value. They understand there's value. They're willing to pay full price. Nordstrom's rack on the other side attracts people who are looking for deals. Now, there's another way of doing this, attracting people who are looking for deals, but you don't want to do it when your home's been on the market for a long time because you're giving yourself really a creating a really bad situation that's really hard to undo, right? It's a little bit like trying to fix a bad brake job. Damage is done. So you really want to understand that really clearly. Let's see what's sold. Okay, so we have a couple of sales. Looks like Avenida Aguila sold. Now this one sold for $873 on the market for 10 days. $850 was the asking price. Smaller home, $1,470. I think you needed some work. Let's see really, because I have a tendency to do it. Clean house. Looks like the house I might have sold before because I remember those counters. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's clean, right? Old kitchen. So I need some work. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. If somebody wants a rental, probably a great rental. So just replace some mirrors. I mean, overall, it's in the same condition it was before. $873. Probably a good rental for somebody. I think this is a 3 bedroom, 2 bath though. I don't think it's a. Let's see, another one that sold in 26 here is Avenida Pantera. And that sold for $945,000. It was in the market for 16 days. $975 was the asking price, but it sold for a little less. Again, a little over 2 weeks in the market. And let's look at another 26 right here. This is Kaylee. And I believe this one's Skylark. 19 days in the market. 1,598 was the asking price. Closed at $1,575,000. Again, fairly quickly, but you're always going to give something up if it stays in the market, like it or not, which is the way of the human mind. Cordillera. Now, I'm going to give you a good example of this. I want you to see this. This closed at $972. 4 days in the market, 4 bedroom, 3 bath. But if we click on this thing, I'll open it up for you here really quick. I want to show you some of the history, right? So look at the history here. This originally, actually, you went in the market September 11, 2025 for $1,100,000. And I want you to see all this price reduction. 49, 29, 29. 995, 990, 979. So the reason I'm showing you this, so you can clearly see what happened. Yes, it closed, and it looks like it closed for 972, but really it was 1.1. So what, 130 some thousand, 140,000? Now, did this have to take this long to sell? Absolutely not. And it probably could have sold for more if it was done correctly. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you guys trying to nickel and dime yourself, and yes, when it comes to selling real estate, $5,000 or $7,000 seems a lot of money, but when you're paying 10, and getting out everything, or you're saving 10 because you think you're saving money in the front, and then you're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, or 100,000 or 80,000, it's not a great deal. Yeah, you might feel better. Well, at least I paid less for this and this, but it's not a great deal. Okay, I want you to think over and over again. So what I want to jump, I think this is it for the market. The market's good. You just have to make sure you have the right people helping you. So I just want to click on this thing really quick here. Let's see. All right, so let's see if I can bring this in. Boom. Here we go. I wrote about it, and I'm touching on Prop 19 because I'm seeing a lot of people, not in a good way, they're adding to their house. They've been in the house for a long time. Sometimes they're putting $500,000, $600,000 in the house that no longer really suits them. And I want you to understand, anytime you make an addition to the property, not only are you putting money in, you might be adding a room, you may be adding something else, but overall, you're not changing the scale of the property. So you may take it from 3-bedroom, that's 1,700 square feet, to 4-bedroom, that's 2,000 square feet. But the kitchen is made for the property that is small. So you're kind of, I hate saying this, adding a tumor. And I just want you to understand there's much better ways of doing things, because if you're putting this much money in, you really want to consider, is it worth putting the money in, or is it better to sell and buy another replacement property? And if you're 55 and over, as you can see here, you're in an advantage, huge advantage here, because I'm giving you an example here. You must be 55. That's all it's required. Let's say you purchased a property. Oh, I thought I changed that. I'm sorry. You should say 2005. Let's say you bought it $320,000. Estimating current property taxes with Proposition 13, where you can increase 2% a year. Let's say you're paying about $4,200 a year for the property. You're paying money for that. And when you're putting $300,000, $400,000 in the house, your property is going to be reassessed anyway, so you're going to pay more. So look, why not? Let's say you can sell the house. Let's say the current market value of the property sold is 1.2. So that property you bought for 320 a long time ago, let's say it's $1.2 million. And let's say you buy another property that's 1.5. So you're going up really $300,000 only from what you sold, not what you originally paid, what you sold. So the difference in the two values, the one you sold versus the one you bought, is $300,000. So see what happens. When you buy this and you're 55, you get to carry over your tax base from the older property. So you're paying $4,200, it's right here. Then you're going to be paying you're going to add $3,000 only to your taxes, because remember, it's based on $300,000 only. So now in total, you're going to be paying $7,200, versus if you just bought the property on its own, you're probably going to pay $15,000 plus if you bought the property for 1.5. In general, I think if you're going to be putting a lot of money in the property, you really need to consider using Prop 19 and 55 plus. Whatever the reason is, you need to go from from 2 stories to single story. Maybe you're downsizing. Same thing. If you're downsizing, the property you're buying is less than what you sold for, you're going to keep your basis. Because let me bring it again one more time. If you are going to be buying property, or you're going to be doing your remodeling, you're going to add some square footage, your tax is going to go up anyway. So why not do something smarter? It's better to buy something, sell this one, buy replacement property. The tax impact is reduced by you being 55 and by using Prop 19. Anyway, if you want to know more about it, please contact me. If you're looking to sell a property in Santa Fe Hills, or maybe that's not for you, but you have a friend or someone you care for, please share this with them. And I know I've been saying this for a long time. I have more videos coming. I hope I did not make that too long. A lot of times people come here and they want to be entertained. I'm not really an entertainer at this point. Maybe you are entertained. I'm here to give you information that's going to be beneficial for you when you sell and as a homeowner itself. So again, I want to sign off. Thank you so much for coming back. I really value your time, and you can give me a like. If you can subscribe, share, it gets more people to see this. All right. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.